Okay, we're going to pull up the map, our blessed map. Where's the room I want us to go to? I think I want us to go to M2. I keep showing you these paintings, right? And I missed the most important element of all. Is it in here? No. If I can't find it, please. Jackpot, all right, here we go. And I said, oh, this is a painting about the Northern Lights. That's great. You know what I ignored? This little painting print right here. And it's Goya's Disasters of War print. This hospital was built in the colonial era and then destroyed, rebuilt, or abandoned, rebuilt during the Civil War. So this is referring to the history of the hospital. However, I found a bunch of Goyas. And I ended up writing a post called Why I Can't Be Normal about Goyas in Silent Hill 2. And you'll remember the first one I found was the plague hospital in the barber shop, which foreshadows the history of the plague in the hospital and in the prison that we'll be seeing notes about. So this is the second one we had found. And to read to you what I wrote, I'm referring to an article about the meanings of a particular print at the Prado website, Museo del Prado. What I told Ian in an email initially was, using this artist brings a whole background subtext of madness, plague, war, horror, and hiding any of his works in plain sight hints that there is a horror beneath the fog world James isn't seeing yet, much like those manic woodside notes that suggest the other world lies beneath everything. So I showed you a painting last time of two rabbits in the kitchen to be butchered. That's a Goya. The two rabbits look perfectly normal and realistic in this very normal looking kitchen, but it's a Goya. We're going to come back to that kitchen and we're going to see what it really looks like. The way that the hotel at the end of the game is actually burnt down. I told you I'd tell you everything. And so I was discussing a print called The Sleep of Reason Produces Monsters. And you can see this on the blog post. And it's a man who's fallen asleep at a desk where there's all these monsters and bats flying around behind him. And it's a very famous print. If you're into any kind of gothic imagery, art, writing at all, you will probably recognize it on sight. And that's my favorite Goya. The Sleep of Reason, at the time I wrote this, didn't appear in the game. And I said, however, I think deep down, it sums up the entire game. James's refusal to admit the truth has produced monsters, roughly 393 of them, based on my first run stats. But more importantly, figuratively, a spiral into anxiety, anger, and alcoholism produced one very specific monster, and we're playing him. You reference an artist this many times, and in parentheses I said, maybe even more that I haven't found yet, and you are evoking a vision of horror, disease, disillusionment, and, as this article at the Prado wrote, what lies behind the, quote, reversal of the day in, quote, the battle between light and shadow. I'm not sure which one wins. I guess it depends on your ending. But every time I find a Goya hidden in the game, I feel like we're being reminded that the battle is there. So this is the second Goya I found, right? Don't shoot it. Don't shoot it. That's valuable, James. Okay, so now, how do we get downstairs from here? What's the quickest way to get downstairs? Well, I'm pointed in the right direction. So last time, I made James go down an opening between the walls and nearly get stuck. And that took us out through medical records. And I got interrupted in there by a mannequin that busted in. And so I didn't really look around much further than that. Is this it? Okay, you stay chill too. The sleep of reason produces monsters. When I was replaying this on a stillness run to get us all the way back here, I found it. It's almost like I predicted it would have to be somewhere in the game, I guess. It's actually, you should have seen my fucking face when I just happened to see this. Like, that was an incredible moment, honestly. Just to be like, this is my favorite Goya, and guess what? I actually did find it. Radiator check. We're still looking for a broken radiator somewhere. We didn't find it here. Okay, but this is Sleep of Reason. And again, the interesting thing about this print is that it could mean two different things. Either when you set reason aside, produces the monsters of fantasy, of irrationality. But this may have also been Goya critiquing the Enlightenment at that point. And rationality carried too far could create monsters. But I think in this case, it does more refer to James not being able to admit the truth. He's living in a world of nightmares, fantasies. I'm looking for something, sorry. Okay, it was this way. And once he comes out of this partial amnesia back to a world of reality, the monsters are, I mean, this is actually going to happen. The monsters are going to withdraw and kind of crawl away and die. His distractions will be gone. This is a Goya. I don't know why I assumed they had created this painting for the game. Maybe because it was so on point to have two rabbits when Laura draws herself and Mary as rabbits. But no, it's actually a Goya. It's a still life. And I forget the exact name of the painting, but it's literally like two rabbits ready to be... Let me see if I have that here. Oh, I definitely need to remember to show you something else. It's a Goya still life. I found that before I found the Sleep of Reason, but again, I'm emailing Ian like, it's a fucking Goya. It's a fucking Goya. Oh my God. So then I said, I don't know what this one is. Is it like a goose or something? It's probably a fucking Goya. It's a Goya. I'm shouting. Okay. It's a turkey. It's a still life of a turkey ready to be butchered. It's that sense of like, I'm so impressed that I'm angry. How dare you? How dare you be so good at all of this artistic art history symbolism? How dare you? Bloober? I'm so impressed that they got all of this past me.